Okay, all right. All right, first off, thanks everybody for attending. My name's Brian Core. I'm Assistant Director here at the Chancellor's Office. I have the .NET developers. I've got the SQL Server DBAs reporting to me. I've got the SharePoint admins, but more towards this meeting, I also have the Change Management Group as well as the ITSM application support group as well reporting to me. And so this one I'm really focusing in on the configuration management database. We've went ahead and we've put in a solution that's out there. It's not perfect by any means. We're getting ready to do a 2.0 on it. I just want to share what we've gone through, what our pain points were, and see if I can get any feedback from anybody else on anything that they may have done or ways that they've done it that may have been a better way or what they've come across. So moving forward, everybody can see the actual little PowerPoint that's on the screens, right?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. Okay, first off, when we started to go through the change management database, we really needed to define the various services that are out there. We defined what we needed to define really as a business service, and that was really one of our biggest pain points, is really getting a definition of what was a business service. Arguments on various different groups of what they thought was a business service, whether it was just a system-wide collaboration as a business service, or is it something like another group wanted authentication as a business service. And I wasn't sure whether authentication was really an application that we did for single sign-on, or was it really a business service. So our 1.0 had a mixture of high-level type business services as well as more low-level type business services within there. So our 2.0, we're going to be looking at defining them and getting them into more focused areas. Within each business service, there is a group defined, and within that group is who is the owner of the business service, who's the main contact, who is the support person for that business service. All that is in the group areas tied to the business service. And then we also have applications, the applications that support that business service. And then within the applications itself, it depends on the applications itself, what constitutes that applications, what application servers are needed to support that application, any databases, or any other services like email or FTP or Active Directory, any directory servers that you needed. So that is how it is defined, and that is our hierarchical chart for the hierarchy that we had for building the change management database. An example that I put in here is like our system-wide communication as a business service. The main group that we have is communications. They're the ones that are the owners of the business service. An application that supports system-wide communication would be like CSU, CSU Cal State EDU. That's out there. It runs on various application servers. We have Windows servers, which is our web servers, our index servers. There's also a database server that's involved with it. But also CSU also has another application that is required, which is the authentication application, to allow for single sign-on, so the various campuses can get into the CSU. And so you can see that application is dependent on another application. And that application also has various servers that are out there. And it requires a database. Another application that supports system-wide communication would be like our blogs, Cal State EDU that we have that's used out there. So that's an example of the hierarchy, from high level to actual practice that we had in our 1.0. So how we can use that and what we do with it, I can show you a little example. Again, this example is using ServiceNow. ServiceNow is our ITSM product. However, whatever product you use, most of the stuff I covered in the beginning is what you would really do. You would have to build out your business services and all your supporting within there. I'll show you how we've implemented within ServiceNow. And if I bring that one up, can everybody see the service management dev test screen now?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, good. All right. So let's say that I got a call. I'm at the help desk, and I get a call that people are saying, hey, half my people are not getting into CSU. Some people are, but some people aren't. I can go down to the configuration. I can choose applications. And I can go ahead up in the search, and I can say, well, let me look at CSU, and right on the second CSU, it is the support group is productivity services within there. So I can go ahead and I can click on CSU, and I can look in here and I can find out that okay, it's owned by Karen Laird. That's the business communications director that is responsible for the actual system, CSU. I could also look down at the related items, and I can look through here and I can see a little red check mark. This tells me that there is an issue with one of the web servers. Looks like one web server, the Web02 is fine, but Web01 has a ticket, has a little mark on there. If I want to see what that is, I can actually click on that, and it could tell me that there is a high ticket opened up, that a disk space is low. So that basically will tell me that, yeah, okay, this looks like one web server is up, one's down. That's why some people can get in, some can't, depending on which web server they're being sent to. If I want to actually see a graphical representation of this, I can just go ahead and click within there. And I can see that the CSU web application is supporting the system-wide communication business service. It is running on another service, which is SharePoint 2010. And I can see that I have the SQL instances. I have two SQLs tied within there. It also has a business service application authentication, which requires all these servers. But I can also see that it has the Web02, the index, and then the Web01 with the little check marks there telling me, yeah, there's an issue with this one. It's out there. If I want to see information about this business service, I can do a right click on there and say view the form on it. And it'll tell me all about system-wide communication, who it's owned by, is it what the criticality of this business service is, if it's in production or not, who's managing it, and what's the support group. So I need to go within there. If I want to see, okay, I know that there's a problem with Web01, see it says that there is a problem with Web01, I can go ahead and click on the Web01 and see what other applications or systems or business services could be affected by this outage of Web01. So I go ahead and I click into there, and it'll bring up the Web01 that's within here. I can see that there are other related items in here. To get a better view, I can look at the graphical view of it. And within here it says for Web01, it's running on SharePoint 2010, and there are 3 web applications that is running within there. There's the CSU that I got a call on, but there's also a share and an SFSU share. So it tells me that I may be getting more calls for people who are trying to use the share application or the SFSU application, because that is also those applications are also dependent on that web server. So if I want to see, all right, well, who do I need to contact from SFSU to let them know, hey, there is an issue, we're working on it. I can go and look at the view form on that, and it tells me it's Phoebe Kwan over there is the person. I can hover over that to see, okay, it's Phoebe Kwan, I've got her email address, but it looks like I don't have her business phone. It looks like San Francisco hasn't sent over their phone information to us yet. But at least I have her email address. I can let her know, hey, when we were aware of that, you may have some issues going in there. I can do the same thing when I go over to the collaboration group. I can do a right click and see who is in there. And of course, there's that wonderful person, Brian Core, who is owning that system in his productivity services. Okay. Let's see what else we got within there. So that's basically how it can be used, how we've set it up, and how it goes through. Go back into the presentation. Okay, I'm showing you what we've got. That's the 1.0 that we've got and how far we've got within there as we got it. How we did it, we've used some third-party products, discovery products, to go and find the actual equipment. So anything with an IP address, it'll go out and discover it. We used BMC's discovery product. We looked at ServiceNow's discovery product, but it was like 10 times the cost of the BMC one. So I went ahead and used that one. It would discover all of the data center assets, all the servers, routers, switches that we have, and would put that information to an Oracle database. We were also using Altera's, and we were using it to discover all of our desktop applications assets, whether it be laptops or desktops, and it would discover them and also put in all of the software that was installed on desktops or the laptops that it found. Our BMC Discovery, every week on Saturdays, we'd start importing it out of the Oracle and put it into our ServiceNow. And Alteris would be weeklies on Friday starting at 8 p.m. to carry all that stuff in. Stuff that we collect, like in a business service, the information we collect would be like the owner of the business service, the criticality of that business service, what the operational status is, who the approval group is for that, support groups, who it's managed by, where that business service is located at. Any related items such as applications and servers would be tied into that business service. Any commitments that we have agreed to provide that business service would be specified within there as well. Any outage history for that business service would also be collected as it goes through, and any change tasks that may be impacting that business service can also be listed within there. Applications, information we collect for the applications would be who the owner of the application is, what technology it's using, whether it's a Java, a Windows, or a Sun, or a Linux type of server, well, it's a .NET development or a Java Spring development type of technology. What environment, is it development, test, production, or operational status for it? The status, whether it is in repair, or it's in production, or if it's just being released, the URL to the actual application itself, who the support group is, who it's supported by, what department it belongs to, any audiences that may be affected, and listservs tied to that application. The vendor, if it is a third-party type application, who the vendor is, a little short description of the application. Again, related items, what servers or routers or other equipment that supports that application. And again, any change tasks that may be impacting that application. And the same thing with equipment, but then with equipment we have the name of the equipment, the server name, the manufacturer, whether it's a Dell or a HP or a Compaq, the model ID number, the model number, operating system, whether it's Windows 2008, Windows 2012, what service pack may be on there, the operating system version, the CPU speed of the box, how much RAM is on the box, how much disk space. The issue that we had with our BMC Discovery is we were not getting the disk space for our virtual our virtual servers. So we are actually moving away from BMC Discovery now. We're going to use Altiris. Altiris is now able to discover the data center equipment, be it servers or routers. So we're moving to that. That's part of our 2.0 direction. It also tells us the CPU count, who the CPU manufacturer is, the type of CPU, IP address for the box, who is the support group. Again, any related items to that equipment, whether it is dependent on email or any routers that are in there. The software that's been installed on that equipment, and again, any change tests that may be associated with that server or router. Our pain points, there's a lot of manual updates in there. Even though we can automatically discover all of it at the lowest level, the lowest level being at this equipment level that we have, we can discover everything there, but everything up above the applications and business service is all manual updates. We have to define who the owner is of the business service and the application. We have to define the criticality of it, who the approval groups, support groups, and then we have to tie in all the related items. For each application, we have to tie in all the servers that then make up that application. So we have to work with each of the application support group owners and sit with them, and that's what our change management group, that's Lou, and now will be Gia. They'll be working with the application owners to build that up for our 2.0. And then what the servers are assigned for each one of the applications. The BMC Discovery, like I said, we're going to be replacing that with Altiris. It was restricted to, at the price that we were buying, we were at 500 items. We went over to 500 items, so we couldn't discover everything in the data center. But as soon as we hit the 500th item, it stopped. So that's going to get replaced with Altiris. We'll be able to discover everything that's in the data center. That's basically the presentation. Does anybody have any questions?
I do, Brian. This is Alex from CSU Bakersfield.
Yes.
I noticed you're using ServiceNow for those cool charts, flow charts.
Sure.
And I was wondering if ServiceNow integrates with the discovery information that Altiris provides. Does it pull in there for you to get all that good info into ServiceNow?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, we've been doing that with all of the desktop applications. We've been doing that now for about 4 years now. There's some tweaking that has to go on with that. Otherwise, you really get pounded in ServiceNow, because when we discovered everybody's laptop had Microsoft Word on it. Everybody's laptop had Microsoft Excel. So we discovered 500 laptops, but it also put in 500 rows for each version of Word, 500 for every Excel. So the amount of records that we put into our change management database grew to, we were over 200,000 records within that database as it goes through. So you had to tweak it and filter it.
Did you tweak Altiris to only provide basic info, like Office is installed, but not every version of it? Or?
No, we tweaked the ServiceNow database, the import functionality, to not put in duplicate records within there. So if it says there's an Office and there's a Word 2007, and the next one's a Word 2007, we'll put another one in there. Now, if you did a Word 2012, yeah, go ahead and put that in there. But it was putting in, 500 copies of Word 2007, 500 copies of Word 2012.
So are you using that as an endpoint manager as well then, or ServiceNow is doing the endpoint managing?
It's being used as the endpoint manager, yes.
Okay. We're currently using Tivoli to do that, and Tivoli provides a lot of good information on our endpoints, but it's a pretty big beast and it's expensive. So we're looking to move away from BMC Remedy over to ServiceNow, and it sounds like I should probably look into Alteryx then.
Yeah, Alteryx would be good, and I can give you a contact. That'd be Marco Garrett. He's the one that's running our Alteryx as the endpoint one. That'd be our PC support person.
Okay. Well, I would like that information so I can talk to my boss about it.
Okay. Sounds great.
Thank you.
Brian, this is Mitch. I have a question about, you showed where one of the CIs had an incident against it, and then you also mentioned outage information. So is it a proactive incident where the system is reporting there's an incident, so it opened up a ticket, or is it just merely reflect that an incident has been opened up against that CI, and so in that mapping, the service mapping, you could see the CI and then the related record? So the horse or the cart?
Yeah, it could be both. I mean, usually something like that, the disk space is low. That's usually an automated generated one. Our nodules is monitoring all of the servers. And if it does find the disk space low, it'll automatically open a ticket. It assigns the CI to it because it knows the name of the server and what the CI is for that. So and the ticket would be opened up automatically and would be within there. Now, if somebody opens up a ticket for, CSYLU, the application CSYLU, saying, I don't know how to put my document into, or I don't know how to update this page, something like that. If they do not fill out the CI field in there, it's not going to get tied into the CMDB at that point.
So you're saying you are tying in Nagios to ServiceNow to feed event information?
Yes.
Okay, that's very cool. We'll have to do another webinar just on that. And then my second question is, you mentioned outage. So are you using an outage record for service availability?
Yeah, there'll be outage records that's created for the service availability as long as the CI is defined. An outage record is there. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys. We're speaking ServiceNow, so I should not be tool specific, but yeah, just outage information you can record in ServiceNow, and it affects the service availability. So that's very cool. Just a great presentation. Anybody else have more questions for Brian? I think someone's trying to speak.
Yeah, this is Asha. This is a great presentation. So what I am doing right now is in a very, very small scale. I'm just getting all the assets in the organization, and I'm doing a similar implementation in our organization. This is a very good presentation which I can refer to and then talk to get more information, I guess. It was very good. Very, very good presentation. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And I think our next presentation, I think, will be more focused towards you. I think that is a change management one, correct?
I think Gia is going to help us with that one. So yeah.
Gia is going to help us with that one the next one.
Okay.
You mentioned, I don't know if you were going to talk about it, but you mentioned a 2.0. Can you talk a little bit about where you want to go?
Where we want to go is actually revisit the business services that are out there and make sure that what we have listed as business services is truly a business service. I mean, some of them I feel that they are applications and not a business service, and define even more, because we only did 1.0 was just a pilot on certain ones on our critical applications, but we have a whole lot of other non-critical services or apps that are out there. So we only had really, because there's a lot of manual inputs and tying in, we focused on the critical apps at first. And then, so now we're going to expand it out to all the other applications that are not defined as mission critical, but are still important and need to be out there.
All right. Have you read the ECAR paper from EDUCAUSE on the service taxonomy?
I've downloaded it. I haven't.
Okay, it's very good. It's,
All the
you
way
know, if you're
through.
looking at like what's different between an application and a business service, I mean, that's, you know,
Right,
you
right.
can have an argument till wee hours in
I
the
know.
morning on that,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
it helps kind of think with drawing some lines. So I encourage you to take a look at that. So,
Okay.
did you have, you said you might want to have questions for us or open it up to the group or?
Yeah, mostly it's just saying, if anybody's ever gone through that. I mean, and that paper that you just told me would be helpful. I can go through that again, that we got in there. If, like we've had, I think if anybody knows of products that can actually help some of that automation of the manual inputs would be really helpful. I know ServiceNow is trying to say that they can map the applications to the actual servers. How well it works, I'm not sure with their newest Discovery product. But
Yeah, they did a demo for us, but of course it was a demo, so everything worked perfectly.
of course,
And it's salespeople telling you that it works flawlessly, so, you know,
yeah,
take it with a grain of salt. I'll send you their product sheet so you can like see what it's a service mapping product and it has a bunch of different
right.
functionality. I'll send you what they sent me. You can take a look at it. So.
Yeah, because that's what we're thinking. Because that's the most time-consuming thing. It's just tying everything together within that.
Yeah, and I got to relate a story. I tried doing this a couple of years back with the different support groups or the application groups and things like that, and it was just taking so long, and people just like, this is not worth it. I don't see any value at the end, So it is challenging to get the buy-in on it and to give you the bandwidth. And Asha, you're probably going to experience that, even though you're not as large as maybe some of the other CSUs. You're still going to, I think, present it with that challenge, like why are you doing this? How is it going to benefit us? If you
Yes,
show them something like this, that may open their eyes to the value.
yeah, I have been talking to many people here, so I have been facing the same issue you are mentioning. Yeah, I agree. Something like this, the presentation would definitely help them to, buy in.
Sure. So unfortunately, Brian, I don't have anything, any pearls of wisdom for you.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I know there's no magic pill for any of it.
Yeah, it's called a happy hour. That's the magic pill. So. All right, well, if nothing else, I'll give you back some of your time here. Like I said, next month we'll schedule a call, and I'll work with Gia. We'll get that change management presentation for y'all. And in the meanwhile, just feel free to reach out to me if you have any ideas, questions, or comments about how to make this better for everybody. With that, I'll let you guys go, and thank you very much. Thank you again, Brian.
All right, and thank you,
you.
Mitch.